Thank you. Hi, Masters. Welcome to another session. So, as of now, we are discussing the book called The Third Eye. So we've seen this book is about Lobsang Rampa. We have been enjoying about this book. So far, we have seen that a 4 years old boy, Lobsang Rampa, who has now grown up, and he is at 8 years old. So just a recap, shortly, I would say. So this 4 year old Lobsang Rampa, we have seen his parents, who is his nanny, Olzu, that his Olzu, his nanny, and his father and mother, his sister Yashodhara, and he had a brother who passed away, Palcho, when Lobsang Rampa was very young. And then we have seen that there was a prediction about his future, what he's going to be. So they have predicted that he would become a priest surgeon. So that prediction about this, what is going to be in the future, it's a big thing over there. There was a huge procession, as a kind of ceremony. I've seen all those. And then like finally he had to leave his home and have to go to Lamaseries to become monk, and so that he can become this priest surgeon, which was predicted by astrologers. Fine. So he got admission into Lamasery, but it was not an easy one. So we have seen that it was kind of a tough entrance test, you could say. So finally, he was able to clear that, and he also had this physical strength test, and also about his knowledge, how he is. About that, also he had a test. So now, like according to his knowledge, they have thought that this boy is suitable to study in lamas who are 17 years old. So now this 7 years old boy who is studying along with 17 years old lamas. So we have also seen that at Lamasaris, the day start at midnight. That is 12 o'clock in the 12 o'clock early morning, 12 o'clock, 12 a.m. That is the when the day changes. So from there, like we have seen how the day goes on and how the studies are in between, and there are the prayers, and then they have to also help in the help the like domestic chores. Um, we have also seen that his master Lama Mingya Dondup has now entered into our this session, into this scenery. So we haven't seen much about him, but Lobsang Rampa, with an initial discussion with his master Lama Mingya Dondup, he had an he had attraction, and then a connect he could feel that connectivity between them. He was feeling very good that he was that Lama Mingya Dondup is considering him as spiritual son. So with that, later he went, after speaking to his master, then he went to his classroom, but he was not paying much attention as he was supposed to do. So we have seen so far till that. So with that, let me share my screen. Yeah, so let me share my screen. So let me know, masters, if you're able to see the screen. Are you able to see my video, masters? Someone is stating that they are not able to see me.
I can't see you.
I am able to hear you, Heather.
Ma'am, we can see your screen and also the you.
You can see me?
Yeah.
You can see me?
Yes.
Mukund, can you just check your settings, please? So probably there is something settings from your end. Okay. Okay. Fine. So now let's see, like he was not like Lobsang Rampa was not paying much attention in his classroom. So what happened next? A rain of blows on my shoulders brought me back to the reality of the classroom with a violent jerk. So he's telling like suddenly, like because he was not listening carefully, and we all know that his teachers are very strict, and they could also figure it out, like if they are listening or not listening, and so they were able to see that Lobsang Rampa was not listening. So he had to, so there he he got some blows. Fool, dolt, imbecile. Have the mind demons penetrated your thick skull? It is no more than I could do. He's telling like, what happened to you? What is happening with you? You're fortunate that it is now time to attend service. With that remark, the enraged teacher gave me a final hearty blow for good measure and stalked out of the room. So he's telling like, so when the time, so by the time the teacher has seen that Lobsang Rampa was not attentive, so it was the time, like it was coincidentally, it was a time for to attend the service. So he could not give much punishment to Lobsang Rampa. So by stating that, the cheese teacher walked out of the room. The boy next to me said, "Don't forget, it's our turn to work in the kitchen this afternoon." We all know that they are supposed to work in the domestic chores also. They have to work in the domestic side as well, so that there is an equality feeling between everyone, and they should not feel that, okay, we are being accepted as monks, so we are high. So these monks should not have that kind of that kind of whether we are high or low, those kind, like all we should treat that everyone are equal, right? So that is what. Okay. Hope we get a chance to fill our sampa bags. They're telling like, okay, we hope we'll fill our sampa bags. Let's see what is it. Okay. Kitchen work was hard. He's telling like kitchen work was not easy at all. Like, how hard is it? Like they'll let us see how hard is it. The regulars there used to treat us boys as slaves. So the normal people who used to take care of domestic chores, they used to treat these boys, that these monks, as slaves. There was no hour of rest for us after kitchen hour. So she's telling like after kitchen, like it is already hard work, but we don't have any rest after that. 2 solid hours of hard labor, then straight to the classroom again. Sometimes we would kept later in the kitchens, so be late for class. So he's telling like sometimes we don't finish our work in the kitchen within 1 hour dedicated time. We have to stay back and help and finish our duties. But so sometimes we used to be late to our classes because of that. A fuming teacher would be waiting for us and would lay about him with his stick without giving us any opportunity of explaining the reason. So it's telling like, so the teachers, we all know that the teachers are very strict. They would be eagerly waiting for giving any kind of punishments. They would look for these kind of incidents. Yes, that is what he was telling. My first day of work in the kitchen was nearly my last. Why is that? Why is his first day of the kitchen? His work in kitchen was last day. He's also telling it is also nearly my last. Let's see what happened. We trooped reluctantly. Trooped means we walked reluctantly along the stone-flagged corridors towards the kitchens. So it's telling, okay, we walked along with our into the kitchen. At the door, we were met by an angry monk. Come on, you lazy, useless rascals, he shouted. The first 10 of you get in there and stock the fires. He's telling like, so all the classroom like this, whatever whoever there in that Lobsang Rampa classroom, so they all went to this fire to this domestic to do this domestic chores. So he's telling the man who was coordinating, I mean, who was looking over this, he said like the first 10 would go on help with like to look over the fire, like about like to see if there are enough wood and to make sure that fire is burning so that like they could get that heat for their stoves or boilers, whatever it is, to cook the food or okay. The first 10 of you get in there and stock the fires. I was the 10th. So out of 10, like this Lobsang number was the 10th boy. So their job is to go down and look at this fire. Down another flight of steps we went. Flight of steps means like staircase. So like from the place where they were standing, they have to crawl down where like with the help of staircase, they have to get down from the steps so that they can reach this fireplace. The heat was overpowering. So the heat was, it was very hot. In front of us, we saw a ruddy light, the light of roaring fire. So it was like, you're seeing like that place is very hot with so much of fire. Huge piles of yak dung lay about. This was the fuel for the furnaces. He's telling like they were not using the wood, they're using this yak dung. We all know yak dung. Dung, yes, yes, masters. So they were using that as an fuel for this furnaces, means for the stoves or boilers, whatever you say. Okay. Get those iron scoops and stoke for your lives. He's telling like stoke for your lives is fuel. So he's telling use those iron scoops. They have to use this iron scoop so that they can take this yak dung and then put it into the furnaces so that it keeps burning. We need fire, otherwise like the food everything will not be, they can't make without fire, isn't it? So that time we did not have this gas what we use now or the electric thing. So now they used to rely on this fire. So here this fire they used, what was the fuel they used as yak dung. Okay. I was just a poor 7-year-old among the others of my class. So remember, masters, that what were the others were of 17-year-old. Our Lobsang Rampa age is only 7 years. Okay, among whom, so you can compare like 7 years old boy, how small he will be, how, I mean, when compared to his physical appearance, and how strong, I mean, how like the physical appearance, like if you compare 17 years, almost grown up. So it's like they will be tall with little personality. When compared to Lobsang Rampa, they will have more strength, isn't it? I could scarcely lift the scoop. He's telling like the iron scoop was very heavy. I was not able to lift it. And in straining to put the fuel in the fire, I tipped it over the monk's feet. So when he was about to scoop that, like he fall on the monk's foot. Okay, fall, or you can say like incline onto the monk's feet. With the roar of rage, he seized me by the throat. Means with the roar, with much anger, because when he touched the monk's feet, who was in charge of the part of that place, he was angry and he captured him by his throat by his throat and swung me around. He, like in that hot place, he made him around and tripped. Means like he suddenly fall, and there was a fall. I was sent flying backwards. A terrible pain shot through me, and there was a sickening smell of burning flesh. Ah, seriously, look at the masters. I have fallen against the red hot end of a bar protruding, means it is, which is projecting outwards. There was some kind of iron rod which was coming outwards from the furnace, from the stove. I fell with a scream to the floor among the hot ashes. So he fell onto this fireplace, okay, with a scream, with a like suddenly with a shout, okay, onto this hot ashes at the top of my left leg. On the left leg, what happened? Almost the left leg joint, the bar had burned its way it until stopped by the bone. So he's telling like almost my the we were able to see the bone. It was that kind of the bar which was protruding, which was projecting outwards. It is very hot. When he suddenly fell onto that, it went throughout his flesh, and he was able to see the bone. uh, I still have the dead white scar, which even now causes me some trouble. By this scar, I was in later years to be identified by the Japanese. So it's like he's telling like this was a scar, like this scar, this scar was like we were able to see this scar even after later years. They will say like in later years when Japan is like we'll see what it is like. He will explain in the upcoming chapters. So these Japanese people were also identify me by this scar. Okay, so it was such a deep scar. There was uproar. Uh, Monks came rushing from everywhere because it was this thing, right? It was they were screaming, and it was too deep burn. I was still among the hot ashes, but was soon lifted out. So he was still laying on there with that on the hot ashes. Quite a lot of my body had superficial burns, like all over his body there was burns, okay, but the leg burn really was serious when compared to the burns on his body. The burn which happened on his left leg was very deep. It was very dangerous. Quickly I was carried upstairs to a lama. He was a medical lama. Okay, he was a medical lama, means like a kind of doctor, and applied himself to the task of saving my leg. He was the iron had been rusty and went in, and when it entered my leg, flakes of rust had remained behind. He's telling like when this iron bar entered into my flesh, it had rust in it. So these rusty particles were there in my flesh. He had to probe round and scoop out the pieces until the wound was clean. He's telling like this doctor has to remove the flesh, like scooping out means removing out these pieces. Otherwise, it will give a septic will happen. Means some kind of infection will come. That's why we have to remove that. Otherwise, like we have to be very careful with external particles if it enters into our muscle, into our flesh. Okay, masters. Then it was tightly packed with a powdered herb compress, like kind of a first aid or like some kind of treatment what we use now. So they used to have this herbs, means kind of medicinal plants, like they used to have this medicinal plants during their medication. Okay. So they used to put these herbs. The rest of my body was dabbed with a herbal lotion, which certainly eased the pain of the fire. He's telling like the rest of my he was on the hot ashes, isn't it? So his body was also burning. So on the rest of the body, they dabbed, means they just applied this lotion, which was made of these herbs, means medicinal plants, and I'm feeling a little okay when compared to my leg. Okay, my leg was throbbing and throbbing, and I was sure that I would never walk again. Means what is throbbing means? It was paining, aching. So my leg was aching badly. That's what he meant. And I'm sure that I'm never going to walk again. That's what he's telling. When he had finished, the Lama called a monk to carry me to a small side room where I was put on bed, where I was put to bed on cushions. So after my treatment, there was a lama. They called a lama, and he carried me and he put on me on a cushion in another side room. An old monk came in and sat on the floor beside me and started muttering prayers over me. Means like they're telling, like there was an old monk. He came, so he was doing prayers for me so that I would become okay. I would become so because we all know the prayers, with the prayers, what happens, masters, the positive vibrations will increase. So that is what we do even in a meditation, isn't it? So that is what is they are telling. I thought to myself that it was a fine thing to offer prayers for my safety after the accident had happened. He's telling, yes, yes, I'm feeling it's a right thing to do, because I need these prayers, I need this energy. I also decided to lead a good life. He's telling, with this accident, I'm feeling like I have to lead a good life, as I now had a personal experience of what it felt like when the fire devils tormented one. So he's telling like, I'm feeling like I have to lead a good life. Now I understand what happens. Like fire devils mean, like he's telling, like if something bad happens, how a person feels, how it will be paining. I now understand it because I'm experiencing it. I thought of a picture I had seen in which a devil was prodding. Um, Prodding means poking. Devil was poking an unfortunate victim in much the same place I had been burned. He's telling like so I somehow I remember a kind of a picture, so that where a devil was poking some kind of a victim, means a person in the same place where I had got this burn. He was just comparing. Okay, it may be thought that the monks were terrible people, not at all what one would expect. But monks, what does it mean? He's telling, let's see what monks means. What do you understand what monks means? In our Lama series, he's going to explain in detail. We understand that word as anyone, male, living in the Lamastic service. He's telling anyone male who is living in our Lamasery, he is called as monk. Okay, not necessarily a religious person. He is not, no need to be, he has not to be a spiritual person or any kind of religious person. In Tibet, almost anyone can become a monk. How? Let's see. Often a boy is sent to be a monk without having any choice at all in the matter. He's telling, um, so it's like anyone can become a monk. So when a boy is sent to become a monk, he will not have any choice. Okay, or a man may decide that he had enough of sheep herding and wants to be sure of a roof over his head when the temperature is 40 below zero. He's telling like, or like someone like the herd like sheep herding means like whoever is like the people who are gazing the sheep, or anyone else, like, or a butcher, anyone's son, like if they want to make sure like their son or son wants to have some kind of roof and have, so that like, because we know the temperatures are drastic over there, okay, from 40 to below zero. He becomes a monk not through religious conviction, so you have, but for his own creature comfort. He's telling like, those people also will come and join as a monk, but not in a religious way. The Lamasaris had monks as their domestic. So these kind of monks, where are they? So where will they be admission? Let us say they will be admitted into this domestic stuff, where as their builders, laborers, like because they also need to build their buildings, laborers who can do some kind of work, labor work, and scavengers. Okay, in other parts of the world, they would be termed as servants or the equivalent. So here, the monks, what we call as monk, is don't think that like monk as an something else. It's just like a male people, but no need to be, they do not have need to have this kind of spiritual understanding or any kind of praying or religious, and no need to be born with any of this. But they can, but these people are hired into a domestic for the domestic chores. Okay, most of them had a hard time. Life at 12 to 20,000 feet can be difficult, and often they were hard on us boys just for sheer want of thought or feeling. So normally these boys, like they were servants, so they, when they get this kind of authority to make others to do work, when like these monks like normal, like the religious monks, they would feel that they'll show this kind of authority because they do not know how to treat, isn't it? Because they're not they're not well trained in terms of this emotions or their mind. And yeah, okay, we name the members of the priesthood quite differently, he's telling now. Okay, so I skipped here. To us, the term monk was synonymous with man, he's telling. It's just a similar word. In Lamasery, monk means just a man. Okay, we name the members of the priesthood quite differently. When it come to this priesthood, means like when they are into the spiritual religious people, so it is, they are called as different. How Echella was a boy pupil, a novice or acolyte, means he would be called as Chala, means he was a disciple of this a disciple or a student. Okay, nearest to what the average man means by monk is Strapa. It's probably a Tibet word. Okay, he is the most numerous of those in a lamasery. In a lamasery, there are many monks. Monks means just a man. Okay, then we come to the most abused term, a lama. If the trappers are the non-commissioned soldiers, then the lama is the commissioned officer. So it's telling like the kind of relationship. Judging by the way most people in the West talk and write, there are more officers than men. Lamas are masters, he's telling. See, lamas means it's a master, guru, as we term them. The Lama Mingya Dondu was going to be my guru, and I his chela, means I will be his disciple, his student. After the lamas, there were the abbots. So we have monks, chelas, lamas, and then abbots. Not all of them were in charge of lamaseries. Many were engaged in the general duties of senior administration or traveling from lamassery to lamassery. He's telling like abbots means no need to consider they're the only in charge of lamasseries. They have many divisions where few of them will administer this senior administration, general duties, senior administration, and few will administer this traveling from lamasery to lamasery. So there are different kinds of jobs even for abbots. Okay, in some instance, a particular lama could be of higher status than an abbot. It depended upon what he was doing. Those who were living incarnations, such as I had been proved, means he's telling like living incarnation is where their previous incarnation has been traced. So those kind of people here, Lobsang Rampa's previous incarnation has been traced, and they all know what he was. Such as I had been proved could be made abbots. So because they knew Lobsang Rampa's previous incarnation, so they can make Lobsang Rampa. He had a chance to become an abbot at the age of 14. See, masters, at the age of 14 only, he can become an abbot. Okay. It depended upon whether they could pass the severe examinations. And it's not easy to become an abbot as well. There are a different kind of examinations, and it will be hard. These groups were strict and stern, but they were not cruel. They were at all times just. A further example of monks can be seen in the term police monks. He's also giving a different like he's telling, like we also call our polices as police monks. Their sole purpose was to keep order, means to keep law and order, and they were not concerned with the temple ceremonial, except that they had to be present to make sure that everything was orderly. We had police monks, but they are not involved in any of our this temple ceremonial, means any kind of rituals inside the temples or anything that are associated with this temple things, prayers, and they are not involved in it. But what their deal is, they have to keep their surroundings and everything as safe. That is the main motto. The police monks often were cruel, and as stated, so were the domestic staff. So it's telling, so our domestic staff and the police monks are both are cruel. Okay. One could not condemn a bishop because his under gardener misbehaved, nor expect the under gardener to be sane just because he worked for a bishop. So bishop is like head of a Catholic church or something, like a head person. So if an under gardener means like if a person who is working below him is not, if he misbehave, you can't point bishop, or or you can't expect this the persons who are working under this bishop to be saints. You can't expect that. That is what he's telling. So we are. So have you understood, masters? So in the lamaseries, we have monks. So you're telling like we have monks. So monks means just males. So we have monks, or there are many monks in our lamaseries. So these monks are exclusively used for our domestic chores like buildings, buildings or any like labor for anything, any work. Okay. So and we also have these police monks. So okay, so both these police monks and who are the monks who in our lamasari for this domestic, they both are cruel. Okay. After monks, we have this chelas. Chelas means disciples of lamas. So chelas and lamas are the masters or the masters. After lamas, we have abbots. Okay, this is the hierarchy in the organization, in the lamasery. In the lamasery, we had a prison. So they also had a prison, masters. Not by any means a pleasant place to be in. He's telling it's not at all a good place to be in. But the characters of those who were consigned to it were not pleasant either. Means like so the characters who were consigned, means who were committed to it, were not pleasant. Like even the people who were prisoners, they are also not good. Their characters are also not good. The prison is not good. Even the prisoners are also not good. That's what he's telling. Inside the lamasery, there is a prison as well. Okay. My solitary experience of it was when I had to treat a prisoner who had been taken ill. So he's telling like it's so when so he's this is about later in the future, but he had to treat one of a prisoner. So he's just recollecting that and putting it here, but he is still not grown. He has not grown yet. This book is auto writing, master, so we have to remember like it's an autobiography, right? So it's like he's recalling one of his experience when he was grown up. So when he has become a medical doctor, so that is the time when he's recalling this experience. It was when I was almost ready to leave the lamasery. So remember, so Lobsang Rampa was about to leave lamasery, means he was ready, he was become a professional. Okay, that I was called to the prison cell. Out in the back courtyard were a number of circular parapets about 3 feet high. Parapets means we know that it is barricades. Okay. So the massive stones forming there were wide as they were high. He's describing about how the prison is. Covering the tops were stone bars, each as thick as man's height. It's like he's telling it has barricades 3 feet high, and it has the covering tops made of stones. They have covered a circular opening about 9 feet across. 4 police monks grabbed the center bar and dragged it aside. One stooped and picked up a yak hair rope at the end. So if you want to go into the prison, like they have to go like with the help of a rope. They have to go down. They have to go down with the help of a rope. Okay. So one stooped and picked up a yak hair rope at the end, which there was a flimsy looking loop. So it's telling like if you want to go down, so one has to bend and grab that. There will be a thread in the, suppose if you think like it is a circle, so when a person they can go like climbing down with the help of the rope, they have to go down inside the, like if they want to go into that prison, so they to like the one has to grab that rope, bend and grab that rope. It's not easy like you can just pull it. You have to bend and grab the rope. And I looked on unhappily, trust myself to that. So it's telling, now, Honorable Medical Lama, said the man, if you will step here and put your foot in this, we will lower you. So they will, with the help of the rope, they have to stand, and the people over here, the policemen, they will move the rope down so that he can go. If okay, gloomily I complied, means sadly I said okay, because he has to treat that ill person. You will want a light, sir. She's telling like inside there there'll be no light at all. Oh my god, just visualize, master, how bad it would be. Okay, you will want a light, sir. So there is, he has to carry the light along with him, the policeman, and passed me a flaring torch made of a yarn soaked in butter. He's telling this torch has with butter, this yarn soaked with, means kind of a threads soaked in butter. So he used as a flare torchlight. My gloom increased, my sadness increased. I had to hold on to the rope and hold the torch and avoid setting myself on fire or burning through the thin little rope which so dubiously supported me. But down, so he's telling like I have to be very careful, otherwise I will burn myself. When I'm on that rope, I have to carry one in one hand. He has to hold on to the rope. On the other hand, he has to carry the flame, that is torch, which acts as a torchlight. But down I went 25 or 30 feet down between the walls, glistening with water, means like there was water pouring down to the filthy stone floor. So it's telling like the floor was also filthy. It's not good. It's dirty. By the light of the torch, I saw an evil-looking wretch crouched against the wall. He saw a evil person hunched against the wall. Just one look was enough. There was no aura around him, so no life. He said he just looked at that a person. Every person, masters, like even in our physical this body, we have this kind of aura. Probably we can't look at it, but we people in Tibet, they had this kind of they can look at with their open eyes the aura around us. Few of us, we have lost that that visibility. Okay, so we can gain that, but later we'll see. Okay, so he's telling like Lobsang was in a manner where he can see the aura, means like a kind of a shield, kind of light shield next to us. With that, they will see how to heal a person and how good he is. Our light surrounding us will say, if someone looks some spiritual person, if they look at us, they will feel okay. Without looking us, if they see that kind of aura, that kind of light, everyone will have that kind of light based upon their energies. Okay, so if they look, they will be able to see, okay, this person has these kind of qualities. So that's the reason, like for the people with high meditation, like with so much of energy persons, they can, without even talking to them, they'll be able to sense how that person is. Okay, my work was so he's telling like with the look, he was able to see that there was no aura around him. I said, so if there is no aura, if a person has a life, masters, there'll be an aura, means the kind of light around us, the kind of light layer around us. It's like you can see, like in photos, you can see for gods, they'll have some kind of light, isn't it? So that uh, to make them more highlight like that. So that's the way, like everyone, like the complete body will have this kind of light. Okay. I said a prayer for the soul wandering between the planes of the existence and closed the wild staring eyes, then called to be pulled up. He's telling like there was no aura. So means no aura means there is no life, means he has dead. So I closed his eyes and I did some prayer to him and asked the monks to, police monks to pull me up. My work was finished. Now the body breakers would take over. So we know that there they will if a person dies they will not bury bury, or like they will not their cremation is a different process where they will cut the body into the pieces and they will feed it to the birds over there, to the scavengers. Okay, I asked what had been his crime. So he's telling my work was now finished. Now the body breakers would take over, means those people will come and take over the body and they will do this ceremonies, cremation process. I asked what had been his crime. Miss Lobsang Rampa is asking this police monks, by the way, what is a crime that this prisoner has done? And was told that he had been a wandering beggar who had come to the lamasery for food and shelter, and then in the night killed a monk for his few possessions. He's telling that this beggar, he was a beggar who came for the food and shelter, but later in the night he killed one of our monk for his possessions, for what he had. He had been overtaken while escaping and brought back to the scene of this crime. Okay, that is what. But all that is somewhat of a digression from the incident of my first attempt at kitchen work. The effects of the cooling. So, okay, this is what he explained about the prison. So now they have explained about all is being explained. When is it, when Lobsang Nampa is explaining all this, when he got this burn on his body and his leg is burned, he just he was explaining about it, and now we are going back again, okay, to his burns. The effects of the cooling lotions were wearing off, means whatever the lotion they have put to avoid this burning, so it was going off, and I felt as if the skin were being scorched off my body. It felt like his skin was he was scooped. Okay, the throbbing in my leg increased, means the pain, the ache in my leg increased, because it has it's a severe damage, isn't it? Because it went the bar, it was the hot bar, it went through his flesh until his bone. It seems as if it was going to explode. He's telling like, I can't take this pain anymore. It's like I'm going to explode, means I'm going to burst with this pain. I'm unable to manage. That is what it means. To my fevered imagination, the whole was filled with a flaming torch. There was some kind of flame, it seems, inside this his leg. Time dragged throughout the lamasery. There was sound, some that I knew and many that I did not. He's telling like there are many sounds, but some I could sense and some other I could not. But the pain was sweeping up my body in the great fiery gouts. It's telling like this pain, I'm unable to bear it. Like it's becoming much fierce. I lay on my face, but the front of my body was also burned. It's burned by the hot ashes. It's telling I can't, like I tried to lay on my face because his left leg is burned, so he should lie only on one side, isn't it? So he tried to lay on his face, means on face side, but he has realized that even his body is also burned because of this hot ashes. There was a faint rustle and someone sat beside me. So he find like someone sat beside him. Let's see, a kind, compassionate voice. The voice of the Lama Mingya Dontup said, little friend, it is too much. Sleep. Gentle fingers swept along my spine. Means his vertebral column. He just moved his fingers on Lobsang Rampa's spine again and again, and I knew no more. So it's telling like, then I did not know anything. Okay. It's a quite interesting, but it's a time up, masters. Do you want me to continue this paragraph, or let me stop here? Okay, let me stop here. Okay. Okay, because otherwise we can't take any questions. Okay, it's quite interesting, isn't it? What happened? What did Lama Mengya Dondab did to Lobsang Rampa? Because he was having such a pain, but he's not able to see. He's not able to feel anything. What happened? Let's see later tomorrow in our tomorrow class. Okay. So now, so with that, I will ask if you have any questions of any questions in today's session. Okay, Heather, you can unmute.
Ma'am, when he was small only, he helped a person.
One second, Masters. I can't hear you. Can you
Now
repeat that?
can you
Go ahead, Heather.
hear me?
Can you come a little closer to the mic, Heather?
Now can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. What happened? Did when he was 7 years only? Did he help a man by giving all this medicine and all?
Sorry, Heather, I could not get your question. Can you repeat it once again if you don't mind?
Ma'am, in the book, then in 7 years only he helped the man.
7 years? Who helped a man?
Rampa, Lobsang Rampa.
Uh, what are you referring to? Who helped? Like he did not help anyone, is it? No, 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 not 7 years. This is that's what I've told him. This one, that experience about the prisoner and everything, when Lobsang Rampa was little older. So when he was about to leave Lamasari, remember, like I've told that when he was about to leave Lamasari, he's just taking one of the experiences which was happened in the later years. He just grabbed one of it and he was just showing it to us. Not now, not at 7 years or 8 years old. Okay.
Okay. Then when after the doctor this when he was getting the burn from the fire, the doctor came and gave the lotion and all, and he kept in the bed. Right after that, old monk came. After that only, Mingya Dondu came.
Yes, yes. After that only, when Lobsang was not able, like it was the burning, it was paining, pain was too much. He could not take it. He was unable to bear it. Then that time, Lama Mingya Dondup has come, and he did something on his spine, and he did not feel after that anything. Let's see what it is. Okay, tomorrow in our tomorrow class.
Okay.
Okay,
Ma'am, you
okay.
explained it very well.
Thank you, Hetal. Mukund.
Great class, and that guy, that rude monk who took him by the neck and swung him into the fire, shouldn't he get expelled or something?
I like probably I'm not like because uh, Lobsang Rampa did not explain anything about what happened to that monk, and he explained here that these monks and police monks are very cruel. Because they are not trained, they do not know what is good or what is bad, and everyone will not have the same kind of um, emotions, what is good, and some people they'll not feel bad even if they do harm to others. So everyone has their own kind of maturity level. So that's the reason he explained monks means don't think that they are if they are monks does not mean that they are good, like they are cruel also. They are just as a servants in our lama series.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
No worries. Thank you, Mukund. Any questions, Rithi, Gautam, Joshua? No? Okay. So questions time then. So was Lobsang, like the Lobsang Rampa had this kitchen chores, like he has to perform kitchen chores. So was he able to why was he having struggled to lift those iron scoops when his other friends were able to lift it? Why can't he lift it? Why? What was the reason? Okay. Hetal? Unmute yourself, Hetal.
Yes, ma'am. Because he was very small. Philip.
Yes, he was very small, young. He was young. And the other friends, other classmates are of 17 years old. But he was only.
7 years.
Yes, right. Good job, Hetal. So so he was telling like who was called as living incarnation was Lobsang Rampa was called as living incarnation. Then why was he called? If so, yes, then why? Joshua?
Can you repeat the question?
So I was asking like Lobsang Rampa was called as living incarnation. So why was it? Why was he called as living incarnation? Did anyone trace anything?
Oh, he was his some monks and some astrologers take trace his rebirth, his
Yeah,
past life,
yes, spot
and they
on.
think he needs to be a monk because his past life he was an abbot, so he wanted to be one. He needs to be one now to fulfill the desire of his past life. That's what they must think.
Yes. Good job, Joshua. So, where did Lobsang Rampa get hurt? Was it in this so like where on his body where all he got hurt? Uh, yes, Riddhi?
He got hurt on his leg and all on his back and all over his face and all of his body.
Good job, Riddhi. Good job. Can anyone explain what was the hierarchy in this organization? Like, I mean, I have told you, like, the okay, Mukun.
So for bishop under gardener works, and
Mhm.
so the order is monks.
Mhm. Monks or normal male people, whoever the domestic people, they will be there. All laborers, all servants are called as monks. Okay. After that,
Something starting with C.
yes, Challa is a disciple for a master. Okay, accept.
Chela,
Uh,
Lama, and then for
who is
Lama,
Lama? Lama is like example of Lama. What they have given? Lama Mingya Don, his guru. Okay. Yes. Then, uh,
it is Abbot.
yes, after Lama, it's Abbot. Very good. Good job, Mukun.
Madam, let's close it for today.
1 second, Joshua. Yeah. Okay, I think I've given a chance to everyone. Gautam, tell me what did you like from today's session?
The
Gautam,
best
can't hear
part
you.
I liked was about when
Go ahead,
can
go
you
ahead.
know?
Yes, I can hear you. Come on, go ahead.
So I liked how they described how he burnt his legs, face, and body, like how the layers and how they described what was happening there.
Yes. We are able to visualize it, right? Like how it happened. Yes. Thanks, Gautam, for your feedback. I think it's time up. Okay. Uh, yes, Hetal. The last question. Yeah.
And at
Yep.
the last, did Rampa become the abbot?
Let's see what he's going to become. He has two choices, whether to become an abbot or he can become an abbot by 14 years, because they have traced his past life, or he can take an the road where he will go on 40 years of hardship. We don't know as of now he's going to choose. He said, like, I will take this road, 40 years of hardship. Let's see what is going to happen. Okay. Thank you, Hetal. Thank you, masters, for joining today. Oh, but tomorrow it's quite an interesting session. So let's all see like what happened when Lama Mengya Dondop touched his pain. So his spine, sorry, touch his spine. Okay. With that, we will close our session today. Thank you, Joshua, for your technical support today. Thank you all, masters. See you tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.